Ready for our final race of the day here at the MotoAmerica Superbikes at Pittsburgh. We're in Waupun, Pennsylvania, stock 1000, round 7 of 9. You see that little burn mark on the grass, those skid marks, and a little bit of melted asphalt? Well, this race was supposed to happen earlier in the day. A red flag was brought out with about a lap and a half into the race. Let's take a look back. Wyatt Ferris, he made it off the track just fine. His bike, not so much, Roger Hayden.
No, not at all. Turn 5, not sure what happened, how he crashed, but, you know, the bike went up in flames after that. They tried to put it out, but with all the gas, you can see him in the corner worker. Those two, you know, that right there didn't do it.
They ran out of everything they had. The blue and red bike turned to blackie in an instant. Melted the tarmac, parts down there. It took him quite a while. Wyatt Ferris looked like he was okay, although he had the wild ride back to the paddock. But it took a while to get the stuff cleared out and ready to go, and we've had several races since then. The track is back to optimum conditions. Yeah,
the track is great. We've seen all the classes since then. Everybody go faster than yesterday, so no big deal. And I expect to see these guys we've seen in the Superbike Cup race. A couple of the guys broke the track record for stock 1000. If they do it this race, it will count.
Yeah, and that'll be something special to watch, including that guy getting the stretch on back there in the back. Was that the 77 of Hayden Gillim? Disrupt Racing, the Franklin Armory entry. One guy to look for, especially because he's starting deep in that third row in the 9th spot. Watch that orange Suzuki try and work his way up through the field, because I promise you, he ain't going to stay in the 9th for long.
No, not at all. And even in the Superbike race today, he worked his way up, you know, through the pack and got another second. So he's definitely a guy that's got some speed this week, but also the race being a couple laps shorter coming from the third row, he's going to have to really get going early, but already been super impressive for a guy that couldn't be here on Friday, had to work, got here Saturday. First qualifier, 30 minutes. Puts it 9th on the grid.
No doubt about it. Jake Lewis, though, he's been he's been the cream of the crop here as of late. He actually had the lead when we brought out the red flag, but he's just had at least a half a second on the field. But when we did have that first start earlier, Travis Wyman got into tow, and he was not letting him get away. Wyman might have a little something extra in that BMW.
Yeah, I mean, not only Wyman, but also Corey Alexander and Andrew Lee were right there as well.
Right, Andrew Lee going to start in the middle of that second row. As we take a look at our starting grid, brought to you by Cardo Systems. Michael Gilbert's always in there. Stefano Mesa had a 600cc class in the Super Sport earlier today. There's Gillim starting on the 30. He's so new into this, we don't even have a picture. We might have to go back to old school to get a picture for him. Find your favorite rider. Again, Jeremy Coffey. Hopefully he has a good day today. Been having some rough times as of late, starting on row 6. Mac Girardo just in front of him. Shake and Bake on row 7. Scott Briotti with Peanut. Ned Brown just in front of him. Josh Girardo, Butler, McCroskey, and Mauricio Hidalgo rounding out our field. Stock 1000, it says 10 laps what this race. I know our graphic there said 8 for just a moment, but it is a 10-lap race. We'll wait to get the signification that green flag will be waving, say everything's clear on the backside. You see that chase vehicle in the Porsche. The visor goes down for Stefano Mesa, who's going to get the start. Mike on the left. He's in pole position. Red lights go out, and it's time to go racing. Good run by Michael Gilbert. Little lift there from a few of the bikes.
Good start by Michael Gilbert, already working his way up into third. Jake Lewis with another great start.
Also, Ashton Yates looks like he was trying to drive around that outside on that Honda that he had to purchase coming into this week. It's not a brand new bike. It's new to him. He tore up his last one, and there goes Yates to the inside. That's going to put him in fourth. Very aggressive early on.
Very aggressive, very good pass. Also, you know, this red flag delayed race has kind of hurt Corey Alexander and Andrew Lee. This time you know, last time they were 3rd and 4th, and now they're back to 6th and 7th.
Yeah, I think Lee for sure. I mean, he was up there and in that top 3 or 4, as you mentioned, but really kind of knocking on the door. Now he's got several guys to pass to even get back up there. And you look at Jake, he's trying to pull away. I don't even think he had this much of a lead the last time in a lap and a half.
No, last time, the first start, they were right on him. So it looks like now maybe having that Superbike Cup race might have helped him out a little bit.
Give him a little confidence when you're out there, because the Superbikes, the Honda Superbike class, when they run with them, when they practice with them, when they qualify with them, there's no doubt they go faster. They are pushed by the faster riders around them.
They are, and I think that's really good for them to have that opportunity to ride with the Superbike guys and learn and really get pushed.
One thing we know about that BMW, it is fast. We saw a race to the stripe back at Laguna Seca where Travis Wyman was able to take a victory. Right now he's in second going through that chicane. It's a man-made chicane there. They put the little strips down. It keeps the riders from having to go wide in that shot out there and the wall coming up on you really fast. If that was just a straightaway heading into that right-hand turn, it would get ugly. Now they head up that uphill finish line and then back down into turn one again. A lot of ups and downs here in Wampum.
Yeah, this track has a lot of elevation. I mean, even looking right here, going in turn one, see how it goes up and then down. Watch these guys drive out of turn one, up over two. Really difficult, as you can see the bikes are moving around as they get to the top.
145.93 that first time from a standing start. A strong beginning for Jake Lewis. Again, you can see the advantage there, and Michael Gilbert not too far behind Travis Wyman. That's the Kawasaki of Gilbert, the 55. I'm not going to call him Gibby anymore. He doesn't like it. Still got to come up with that nickname, the Stash. Ashton Yates still not letting him get away either. 1, 2, 3, 4 crossing. That another one of the many wheelie hills we have around here. Corey Alexander still in the championship points battle with Jake Lewis. This is what Corey doesn't want to see, a couple of guys between himself and Jake Lewis.
No, not at all. And Travis Wyman actually has really put together a really good sector. You can see he's brought a couple tenths back on Jake.
Stefano Mesa getting into the pits there. It's Danilo Lewis. Mesa on the 37, Lewis on the 94 BMW. And with Stefano Mesa back in 7th, also doing all this on his own. He had a 600 race earlier. He'd probably get a little bit tired this time of the weekend. Travis, I think, picked it up just a little bit.
Yeah, Travis is definitely having looks like the beginning part of the track is where he's a little bit stronger than Jake, and you can see in that middle sector, Jake's kind of pulled it back out a little bit.
Flying down that front straightaway, trap speeds over 167 miles an hour. 167.7 for Stefano Mesa, the fastest down that front straight. There's the Mesa 37, the third rider in that picture. A trio of Kawasaki's. The lead Kawasaki's Gilbert. He's the third rider on the track. Suzuki, BMW, and Kawasaki, your top three.
Hayden Gillim, that last lap, the fastest lap of the race, down there in 9th. You can see him, the last guy in the picture.
Well, I said before we started, we will not see Hayden Gillim in 9th for long, and we are still seeing him in 9th. I wonder what happened early on, because it's kind of opposite what we saw in the earlier race.
Yeah, he must have got together with somebody. I didn't see it, but you can see here, he's going to be super aggressive. He knows the laps are winding down, and he has the pace to be on the podium.
And Danilo Lewis probably not used to racing against Hayden Gillim. I mean, not many people are unless they rode in Supersport 2 years ago. Maybe a Mesa. Yates.
Corey Alexander looks like he's really struggling. Hayden's looking for a spot to get by him down there in 6th.
Andrew Lee picking it up just a little bit back in 5th. He's trying to work his way by. We're starting to see him look more like the two-time Stock 1000 champion Andrew Lee. He's running his own team now. Again, Franklin Armory sponsored, but doing it on his own. The 14 out of Reno, Nevada, Franklin Armory, Andrew Lee racing entry.
Hayden Gillim's made the pass.
So he's got 2 in less than a lap. He's got Mesa up next. And the differential the prior time was how far? He was almost a full second behind Mesa. We'll see if he can close in. There is Hayden Gillim on that orange 77. One thing about that, and he's a battler, he's a fighter. I've seen it here at this track do exactly that. I mean, he's going to run with some wide elbows. But when he's got these guys, we're going wide. Was that Lee?
Andrew Lee into turn 3.
He saved it. He stayed on track. Gillim's going to try and take advantage of him right now, drive him to the outside. But again, I talk about he likes to ride with those wide elbows. He ain't afraid to barge into the positions.
No, not at all. I mean, he's a guy that grew up racing flat track, and that's how you made a pass. So you'll see he made a couple passes the last lap into turn 7, so he might try one here again on Andrew Lee, and he makes it happen.
And again, riding for Franklin Armory Disrupt Racing. That's the team that Andrew Lee used to ride for just about a month and a half ago. So their team's going, okay, our new boy's looking pretty good. I don't know if this is a one-off this weekend only or if he's going to ride in New Jersey and Barber as well. And you talked about how he didn't even make it that first day of practice and qualifying, comes out, puts it in 9th with limited track time. He had been here. He's raced here before, but Hayden Gillim keeps moving up the leaderboard. So the Rabbits that are just in front of him, I mean, that's a good thing. He sees what they're doing. He can try and outbreak them just a little bit here and there. Mesa's the next in line. He's back just enough, and look how much he closes in on Stefano Mesa. Holy smokes. Was that a case of Mesa going a little tentative in that section?
No,
or Hayden?
I just think Hayden is rolling really good right now. He knows that the race is already almost halfway over, and he needs to get up to Michael Gilbert if he wants to get on the podium.
Jake Lewis has a 7/10 advantage over Travis Wyman. Michael Gilbert is back another 1.5 seconds, but here's the man on the move, driving around that outside, coming over that wheelie hill. Watch the 77. Does he get a drive? Does he go inside
He's
here?
He's going to make the pass into 3.
Dangling that leg in, goes underneath, gets one, and look at how close he is to another. It was almost a 2 for platter there for Hayden Gillim, and now he's on the Honda, the 22 of Ashton Yates. That's 4th place right in front of him. We were talking about him being in 9th, it seemed like 2 laps ago.
And this is the place the last couple laps I've been talking about where he's made a lot of passes into turn 7 as they go up over this hill into this next right-hander. You see he's already pulling out, taking a look.
There it is. Another one just clicks him off. You saw it coming before he did, I think. And now the 77 is going to move into 4th place. Lewis, Wyman, Gilbert in front of him. Can he close in with half a race still in front of him? Does he have enough time to get up there on the podium?
We'll just got to see what this lap time is now that he's got clear track. Well, actually, the first couple corners wasn't clear, but you can see he's already kind of broke this group that he's with.
Yates was 1.8 seconds behind Michael Gilbert. 2 seconds, you can get that. You can find that if you're Hayden Gillim with 5 laps to go.
Yeah, with 5 to go, I think he definitely has the pace to do it. But just watching his lap times in the Superbike Cup race today and what he's doing right now, I mean, look what he's already did in just this one lap.
And out in front, Jake Lewis and Travis Wyman running almost identical lap times, only a 1/10 of a second separating their last laps from each other, and less than a second between first and second as well. But the orange bike coming on strong, the BMW not wanting to give up. You see a little bit of a gap to 3rd in Gilbert, and that same gap back to 4th in Hayden Gillim. So now you're seeing at the stripe, okay, and remember it was Yates, it was almost 2 seconds behind, but once he worked his way through it, now it's Hayden Gillim that is 1.8 behind.
1.8, and that last lap, he was 0.6 quicker.
He can do it. 5 laps, that's 3 seconds.
And he had to come through a couple guys last lap. So now he's got clear track, so we're really going to be able to see, you can visually see him closing the gap.
Yeah, and I mean, again, 0.6 a lap times 5, you can gain 3 seconds before the end of the race. Might get him up to 3rd. Not sure it's going to get him up to 1st and 2nd unless those guys start going at it.
No.
But Jake's not going to let Travis get much closer than he is right now if he can keep from it.
Travis is doing a great job, though.
Yeah.
I mean, I think we were both kind of looking at this race that, Jake was going to really run away, but Travis is dug deep and not letting him get away.
Absolutely hasn't run away. Jake Lewis out in front. We saw one time earlier this year when Ashton Yates put the pressure on him towards the end of the race at the Ridge. It was Jake Lewis who was kind of running out of tire. Will that happen today? Probably not when they cut off a couple of laps. That's in the benefit of the Altus Suzuki, I believe.
Wyman, I mean, looks like even this last lap just did his personal best 2nd sector, and you can see he's right there.
Yeah, you're exactly right. He ran a 34.9 in that 2nd sector, a 35.2 for Jake Lewis, so 3/10 advantage in that 1 sector alone. Gillim closing in even more now. Gillim's there. There comes that BMW. He's got the horsepower. There's no question there, Roger, and he is all over him. That's not 7/10. I don't know. It's 4/10. That looks about a 1/10 and a half.
1/10. I mean, really, whenever somebody's that close on you, most guys just put +0.
Yeah. Yeah, if they show him a board and you see the orange bike starting to close in on the green one in the back, that's Hayden Gillim closing in on Michael Gilbert.
He made up a 2nd that last lap.
Michael Gilbert on that Chuckwalla Valley Raceway, octane lending, Kawasaki out of Tustin, California, is going to be in a battle for that final spot on the podium. Getting that drive going up that hill on the Kawasaki. Four laps or less than 4 laps to go in this one. Again, that last time across the stripe, Jake Lewis led Travis Wyman by 3/10. Another 3 seconds behind was Michael Gilbert. And these two, Michael Gilbert and Hayden Gillim, going to be battling to the end for that final spot on the podium. Who's going to take 3rd place? Who's going to take the win for that matter? Look at it, still close up front.
You can see Hayden just closing up. Michael Gilbert's actually responded a little bit this lap, and you can tell he's kind of picking up the pace a little bit.
Look at this run with Jake Lewis. He feels the pressure, I think, and now he's trying to pull away. What I think is remarkable is Travis Wyman, how hard he's pushing, especially coming up to this next session. Let's let him go through it this time, and then we'll talk about what happened to him yesterday as Travis Wyman makes his right-hand turn, see if he can close in. Let's see what they are at the stripe. The last time it was .364. They're coming down that finish line straight away. Let's see the differential this time. 364. It's about even, it looks like. 6/10 this time. He loses a little bit. But after they make this left-hander and go up the hill, let's look at the attitude of that white bike. Let's see what she does. Right here, looks pretty smooth. He lifts the front end and no problem. But watch what happened to Travis Wyman yesterday and the close call. We almost shouldn't even be talking about him today. Let's look at yesterday's race and what happened to him.
Second guy in the picture, you can see as he goes over, the bike gets light. And right there, you're just a passenger at that point. You're just along for the ride, and what a save by him. Save of the year.
Lord knows how fast he was going, 100 and some odd miles an hour. And again, that is, I mean, I would have had a myocardial infarction. I would have had a heart attack before I ever crashed. And now we're down to it. With 3 laps to go, Hayden Gillim has caught up to Michael Gilbert. Gibby's got to be seeing those signs. It was closing in. He don't need to see the sign now. He can almost hear him probably.
No, he's there now. I'm sure he can hear him, or maybe even sometimes when the sun starts going down like this,
Feel it.
You can see the shadow.
Who's going to take it, green or orange? Gillim's had that. He's had those opportunities to pass. He knows where to make those passes.
And he's been aggressive as well, so I assume he's going to be pretty aggressive. You can already see he's all over the place trying to find a way by.
Michael Gilbert's been running his own pace, but that pace right now is not going to get it done. The 77 goes underneath and shoots by pretty smoothly into the chicane. That's where we saw him close in on guys like Mesa. Mesa's back there in 7th. You remember, he was behind. Think of the guys he's passed in these last, 6, 7 laps.
And also his lap times now is quicker than the leaders.
Unbelievable. Last time around a 143.5. Jake Lewis a 143.7. Yeah, about even with those. But yeah, think of the guys he's passed. Michael Gilbert, Danilo Lewis, Ashton Yates, Stefano Mesa, Andrew Lee, Corey Alexander, all within the past 5 or 6 laps.
And it's only a 10-lap race, so if he would have been here Friday, had all-day practice.
Got a good starting spot.
Good starting spot, doing the same lap. He did the same exact lap time last lap as Jake Lewis, and he had to make a pass.
Wondering if Michael Gilbert might have been able to push and try and mount an attack there at the end. You see Andrew Lee keeping what should have been the Danilo Lewis at bay. And I don't know what happened there. I don't know, my timing of scoring, something was.
Andrew Lee's got a 5-second penalty for track cut.
Oh, that's what it is. The timing of scoring has made the adjustment already for hours. So the Altus Motorsports Suzuki of Jake Lewis keeping that ball rolling, trying to extend his points lead. I think he had a 2-point advantage over Corey Alexander. This is the only race in Stock 1000 this weekend, so they only had one opportunity. You might as well make it count, Roger, and he did just that.
Yeah, and for Jake, if he finishes the way he is now, looks like he's got things under control. It's going to be a big points haul with his biggest competitor down in 9th if he gets a win.
And that actually brings Michael Gilbert back into the equation. Gilbert a 4th, I mean 4th to 9th. I mean, he's gaining points. Even though 4th isn't his best finish, it's not putting him on the podium. It's still a good day for Michael Gilbert. White flag's out, one more lap to go here at Pitt Race. MotoAmerica Superbikes at Pittsburgh. A smooth ride for the Altus Motorsports rider. Jake Lewis trying to win a Stock 1000 championship just like Cam Peterson did last year for Altus. Jake Lewis, a former Hono Superbike rider here. Got a guest ride a couple of times last year, but now in it full-time back in MotoAmerica, back where he wanted to be. He's got his regular day job. What did you say he does during the week?
He was working for UPS last year and some now because, you know, had to do something, wasn't racing, wants to race, and I think now, after setting out a year, he's really kind of getting back into the flow. I mean, it takes a while. When you set out a whole year and you're a young guy, it's going to take a minute to come around, and these last couple races have really come together.
Delivering wins right now for Altus Motorsports, and he's got about a half a lap remaining on this one to try and put another victory, another trophy on that mantle. The differential was 1.1 seconds the last time around, but on the track you can see that's too much ground to make up, I do believe. And you see Wyman's still getting after that. Back end's trying to jump around. Yeah,
Wyman's definitely still trying to close the gap. You just want to stay close just in case he makes a little mistake, thinking he has a big lead. Sometimes you see guys lose their concentration and make a mistake.
Seen 4 different winners this year. Jake Lewis, Corey Alexander, Michael Gilbert, Travis Wyman. It's Jake Lewis and Corey Alexander, both with 3 wins on the year. Only 2 points separated them coming into this round. A look over, and he's going to see nobody as he heads to the finish line. Jake Lewis, now a 4-time winner in Stock 1000, takes the win here in Pittsburgh. Second goes to Travis Wyman by a second and a half. A race to the stripe. Andrew Lee holds off Danilo Lewis. But again, everything I say is officially unofficial. Timing and scoring might have something to say about that after a track cut, and we know that means over there in that chicane. Not sure what happened, and we don't make those calls. We just see the identifier at the bottom of our screen. So Jake Lewis, what a run. 10 laps of excellence. Hayden Gillim, our ride of the day, moving up through the field from 9th to 3rd, taking the final spot on that podium. Finishes a total of 3.7 seconds behind two Kentucky kids.
Yep.
I think Hayden might be out of gas. Not I'm talking about in the bike, but I think physically he's probably bogging a little bit right about now.
I mean, you would have to be. This track is super physical, and just to show up. And I mean, how does a guy just show up and, you know, set out on Friday and get on the podium? It's just unbelievable.
One of my favorite lines in Coming to America is, that boy good. I mean, he is. That boy's good. But when he came down that hill and he's rested his arm on the tank, that was out of necessity. I don't think that was out of convenience. I think he's gassed right now. But
you would have to think, you know, somebody looking for a rider that had to open up a couple doors.
I'm here, right? I'm here. I'm still the same Hayden Gillim I always was. And you know what, Roger? Let me pose this for you. It's happened now with Jake. Maybe it incentivizes you to do something different. Maybe he didn't have those opportunities. Maybe he kind of lost, you know, a little bit of that touch of wanting to do something or with a team. If he gets with somebody he likes and can perform, he might have a different approach to things as well.
Yeah, I mean, obviously get where you belong. I mean, if he would have been here Friday, qualified well, he's going to be battling for the win. Never even sat on the bike till Saturday, yeah. So definitely showed he still has it.
We saw that with Tony Elias this weekend too. Never getting on a Yamaha and showing perform. And that, what's that common denominator? Talent. Both of those riders, Tony Elias, Hayden Gillim, both very talented. Hayden's probably just glad, you know, he's not having to muscle that bagger around. Although he'd probably trade the bagger on a flatter track compared to this one here. The ups and downs will get to you. Take a look at our race recap. It's race 1, but it's our one and only race here as Jake Lewis out in front. This is what brought out the red flag earlier, and the flaming bike of Wyatt's had to make us race at the end of the day, but still you see Jake Lewis get the whole shot in the second race. Travis Wyman just behind him, never really let him go.
Look at Ashton Yates there making a good pass into 4th.
That red bike, the 22, was in 4th. He would eventually finish 7th place, but there's the 77 back there quite a ways, but then he started picking them off one at a time.
One by one, right here in turn 7. Every lap for 5 laps in a row, pretty much picks somebody off there.
Gets by Stefano Mesa, gets by Ashton Yates. Inside, outside, there he gets by Michael Gilbert. Looks familiar, doesn't it? shooting into that chicane with no problem, straight lining it. A race to the finish. And celebration for Jake Lewis and Altus Motorsports. 4th win on the season. He should have a even more considerable points lead now, coming in only 2 points ahead of Corey Alexander. But there's your final standings. It does drop Andrew Lee back to 8th place, even though that's not where it looked like he was on track. Lewis, Wyman, Gillim, Corey Alexander drops back to 10. Wow, that's really going to hurt his points, Chase.
Really is. Actually, I think there might have been a glitch in the timing and scoring. I really do think that Corey was actually 9th. But
Okay.
still, regardless, it was a really, tough weekend for him and a bad day points-wise.
Points are points, and yeah, Corey's hoping that they go down and look at that, and he does get 9th place. Let's go down to Michael Hill for the final time with our winner's victory podium for the Stock 1000.
Yeah, thank you, guys. Jake, just getting a lot of congratulations from the Altus Motorsport team. Man, it's hard to get to talk to you celebrating down here. Another great victory, and you had a little bit of time to think about that one after the red flag earlier. Didn't seem to slow you down.
Yeah, honestly, it was a perfect weekend. Won both the Superbike Cup races and then this one. So it's another good weekend. This race was honestly really tough. I had pace on the guys all weekend, it felt like, but I couldn't break Travis. I honestly didn't know who was behind me. I looked back once there coming out of the last corner, and I honestly couldn't tell who it was, and I was just doing 43s like I've been doing all weekend, and there the last couple laps I felt like the gap kind of finally grew. So big thanks to the whole Altus Motorsports team, especially my mechanics, Tony, David, Johnny, my crew chief Eric. I mean, they've been working their ass off this weekend. The bike's been amazing, no issues, and it feels good to extend the points lead in both classes. We came here and did what we needed to do, and like I said, a big thanks to my crew, George, the Altus team, Orion Helmets, Cortec Leathers, Servers Tools and Plastics, the Picanti Group. You can go check them out on Amazon.com. Keep your beer cold. Then my girlfriend and her parents came this weekend for their first race, so it was nice to get a win in front of them, and just thank you for everyone else who supports me.
Great, thanks, Chick. I thought I was getting a freebie there, boys. I thought I was getting a free gift on the podium. That would have been nice, wouldn't it? But no, he's keeping that for himself. Let's move around and speak to our second place BMW boy is back on the podium, Travis Wyman. You kept him honest there. That was a great race.
Yeah, I pushed pretty hard, man. Sorry I couldn't make that race more exciting. I think I gave the fans their money's worth yesterday. Feeling pretty sore from it, honestly, but I pushed and gave everything I could. Jake rode a great race, and I'm happy to bring home a second place for the team, for BMW, for my mom and dad, Steve and Alex, my girlfriend, Justin, my riding coach, James, Motul, Evol Technologies, Hustle Hard Racing. I mean, there's so many sponsors that have worked hard, and it's great to get back up here after the weekend we had at Brainerd, and after the day I had yesterday. I woke up this morning and didn't even know if I could ride, so to come home second is a great feeling, and again, hats off to Jake.
Great to see you back up here. Thanks, Travis. We'll see you at the next one. And I'll move across and say a big welcome back to MotoAmerica and welcome back to the podium to Hayden Gillim. It's a bit like old times chatting to you up here. What a fantastic race. The smile is still there. You got to be over the moon with that performance.
Oh, yeah. Man, I had to work Friday, so I gave these guys a head start on practice. So luckily, the Disrupt Racing guys got this bike going, and it's working really good. Me and Brad have been doing some endurance racing on a Suzuki this year, so he let me use the setup off of it, and man, it's going good. I'm wore out. I don't do this very often anymore, so it's awesome to be up here. I wish I could have got up there with those guys, but had a little incident on lap 1 and had to fight back, and luckily got it up to 3rd place. I'm happy to be up here, happy to see all these people, and man, it's an awesome weekend.
Yeah, it has been an awesome weekend. It's been great to see our top 3. And from me down here in the podium, I am going to be, obviously, I'm going to be here at the next one. And we're going to be heading back up to the podium. And, of course, New Jersey is the next race. So I'll hand back to Robbie and to Roger to close us out. But from me down here, we'll see you at New Jersey.
Thanks, Michael. Great job, as always, getting the scoop down trackside. Scoop McGee, a.k.a. Michael Hill, the man who beat me racing karts this weekend. Roger, solid weekend. Let's do it again in a few weeks in New Jersey.
I'm looking forward to it.
Jake Lewis takes another win and extends that points lead in all of our classes this weekend, and we're tremendous and great weather when it came race time as well. On behalf of Roger and Michael, I'm Robbie Floyd. We'll see you at New Jersey Motorsports Park.